Today we are going to be looking at playing the flute and when to take a breath. This topic was introduced by one of my viewers months ago because it is a little bit of a difficult topic to discuss in full. When playing the Native American style flute, there are so many variables. Flutes are different. We are all different. Some flutes have what I call very little back pressure. You breathe into it and your air just goes right through. No restrictions. Some flutes, you breathe into them and you can feel a little resistance. Your cheeks kind of press out a little bit or puff out a little bit. So what I did was I grabbed some flutes in my collection, for the most part, that many people are familiar with. The first being High Spirits. This is just their basic standard series flute. This happens to be made of madrone. They had a batch of madrone that they made some out of. These are all in the key of F sharp. I wanted to keep them all about the same. Also, listen, because when I play a flute, I try and get the sound pleasing to my ear. Some flutes might feel like they need a little bit more breath to reach the right tone to me. And that's another thing that matters. If that doesn't matter to you, you can put in less air, but then it might not quite be to pitch, especially if you're trying to play with other flute players or if you're trying to play with other instruments and trying to match the right tone, the right note. Hit that note. So, High Spirits, F sharp, this is what they call their golden eagle. And none of this is going to be with effects. For me, on most flutes, that type of a musical statement is pretty good for my capacity. I'm going to grab another flute here. This is from Ancient Territories, also F sharp. And if I remember correctly, this has slightly less breath pressure or back pressure than the High Spirits. Just about out of air on that one. And I tried to take about the same amount of air in before I started playing. Another pretty well-known brand is Wood Sounds Flutes. This is a fairly recent flute. I got this last year. maybe slightly closer to the high spirits, I think. Another flute that many people are aware of, Stellar Flutes. This is one of their premium. They're all made pretty much the same, just different woods used and things. Again, F sharp. Little less air pressure, and plus this one seems, I feel like I have to push more air for that highest note. Another fairly well-known flute brand or maker, Heart Song Flutes, from J.P. Gomez. And this one kind of surprises me a little bit from some of my other flutes. I'm gonna grab one other F sharp that I have of his and see if I can tell much difference here. I think this one has slightly more back pressure than the other one. So we'll go with this one. The last one I have, I think, has the most back pressure of all of these flutes. And part of it is the way that this is constructed with the flue. I think that this has the most back pressure. This is, oh gosh, Vance Pennington. Waking Spirit Flutes, I think, is what he was going by. So, one of the least amounts of back pressure in this group, Stellar Flutes. The next, I think, Ancient Territories, I think. Then I think it's going to be wood sounds. Heart song flutes. This might have slightly less back pressure than the wood sounds flutes. High spirits. Was able to get some more notes in there. And then I think the one that I have here that has the most back pressure is Vance Pennington Waking Spirit. Now, when to breathe. As I said, everybody's going to be different. Right now, I'm suffering through a little bit of more congestion and not able to quite get as much air in as I usually do, just on a typical, without trying, because I just got over COVID. Well, the lung capacity is a little diminished. So that said, when you grab a flute and practice with it a little bit, it is going to help you know when you need to take a breath. Some people might need to make short little musical statements. Take a breath. Take a breath. And you want to take that breath before you are out of air and just struggling, so that you go and have to take, excuse me, a great big deep breath to try to get some air in before you pass out. The larger breath that you take to begin with, the longer the musical statement that you can probably create. But as I said, everybody's going to be different. You want it to be comfortable. You want it to be you don't want to be starving for breath. So experiment with the flutes that you have in your possession, and you might experiment a little bit when you are thinking about purchasing a flute, if you are lucky enough to be able to try the flute in person, it's about what I could do on this one. This has, for me, nice back pressure. I like the high spirits flutes very much. This one, a little bit less back pressure. And taking a pretty big breath, that's about what I would be comfortable with as the longest musical statement on this flute. You want to be able to finish your musical statement the way that you hope to. Sometimes with a little flourish, a little extra pop or something at the end. Fading with a little bit of a finger trill, something like that. I would recommend trying to vary your musical statements or links of your musical statements. It's sort of like talking. You might have a very short group of words to say at one point, but then you might get a little bit more excited and just enthusiastic about what you want to say, and you have a whole bunch to say before you have to take a breath. And then start again. It's the same as talking, but you're talking in musical notes. The more you practice, the more you play, the more that you are going to feel that safe spot where you're just about ready to stop that statement and you need to find that note to land on. So, I hope this helps. As I mentioned, it's a very, very difficult topic because we are all different. The flutes are different. When we move to a double flute or triple flutes, or something with more than one barrel, it has twice the air that you're putting into it in most cases. Big bass flutes don't always take the same amount of air pressure, it seems to me. Even though they're bigger and the bore is much bigger, this area up in here, the mouthpiece, the flue area is usually just a little bit wider, but it's not any deeper generally. And the true sound hole is not much bigger. So it doesn't take twice as much air because the flute is twice as large. I hope that makes sense. It does take more finger dexterity. That's the biggest thing, or reach or stretch, that type of thing. So get acquainted with your flute well enough so that you know the flute's limitations and your limitations. Where are you comfortable in the length of breath that you have available in a given flute to play a certain type of song? So that last statement, I knew I was getting close to running out of air. And I kind of backed off where I felt that I could on how much air I was putting into the flute so that I'd have enough for that little flourish that I like to end on. So I hope this helps. As I mentioned, this is a very, very tough topic to try and talk about. Practice, experiment with different flutes to see maybe which flute works best for a certain type of song or style of playing that you want to do. You might land on one specific flute to do one specific style of song and another flute to do something totally different. You might have a mellow flute and one that is you like to push a little bit more air into it for shorter periods of time or shorter statements, musical statements. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and there's a little bell over there. Hit that little bell so that you can be notified the next time I post a video. It could be a tutorial on playing techniques or how to play the flute. It could be a music video where the Native American style flute is kind of takes the spotlight in my music. It could be solo, it could be with other instruments as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a spectacular day. Take care.